Last Light has finally arrived. It's all about alien factions competing against each other to get light from a white dwarf star. Thank you for joining me here at Tantrum Mouse Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. Last Light is a 4X style game for 2 to 4 players. It plays in a little over an hour. It's designed by Roy Cannaday from the Dice Tower, and it's published by Grey Fox Games. The game has finally been released. I covered the crowdfunding campaign about a year and a half ago. The main board has planets on top of a rotating board that you'll be exploring. Players will be in control of a fleet of ships, but they only start with a small one at the beginning of the game. Now, I mentioned this is a 4X style game. In a 4X game, you are expanding, exploring, exploiting, and exterminating. In Last Light, you'll be able to do all of this at light speed. Now, I'm not going to go into how to play. You can watch my overview video or see other videos on how to play from other people's channels. In this video, I want to talk about my top 7 things that I like about Last Light. Number 1. I'm a big fan of games that have simultaneous actions or simultaneous play of some kind. In Last Light, players have a hand of identical action cards, and they simultaneously play one and reveal them at the same time. Now, most of the actions you can just do and not have to wait. This makes the game progress at a good pace, and I really appreciate that in Last Light. Number 2, I like that the theme directly corresponds to the gameplay. The game is called Last Light, and that's the point of the game, get light. Whoever can get to 20 light first will win the game. And there's many different ways of getting light. Tech cards, exploration tokens, from planets, and from conquering ships. Alright, number 3. I like the rotating boards. This varies up the game so it's not static. It really shakes things up. Some ships will be closer to your opponent's ships, which will then be easier to get to them to attack. And sometimes you are farther away. Moving around the board is important. At the beginning of the game, your ships can only move one space at a time, so it will be really important to find ways to move faster. Alright, moving on. Number 4, the asymmetrical alien factions. I love games with player powers that are different from each other. There are quite a few of them in this game, and all are pretty powerful. Some of my faves are the ones that can get you extra light or immediately build a construct or even move faster around the board. They all have flavor text on the back of their faction card that tells you more about that alien race. Number 5, I like that there are multiple actions that you can activate on the action cards. It does take some planning to make sure you get the resources before you play the card that lets you build, and playing the command card at the right time can get you lots of light if you make it to the dwarf star with your ships at the end of a round. So that's pretty cool. Number 6, the insert. The space is thought out well for the components, really like that, so kudos to the Grey Fox team. Number 7, last but not least, is the table presence of the game. This is the deluxe copy of the game, just so you know that. The game just looks pretty cool with all the 3D planets sort of floating in space, and then there's all the other components, the faction ships. Each color has a different sculpt, and there are 3 different sculpts from small, medium to large ships. Then there's the plastic light tokens, the damage tokens, the resource canisters, and the asteroids. The dice are pretty cool too. The board has some embossed finishes to it, which just really makes it stand out, even though it could have just been a plain black board. Okay, so that's 7 reasons why I like Last Light. Maybe you've played Last Light. I'd love to hear what you liked, or maybe you didn't like. Tell me all about it in the comments below. Do you think it will be in lots of people's top 10 games of the year? That's a big decision with so many great games out there. So lots to think about on that. See you next time.